there's a certain scoreline that can be put forward that really has you question the ethics of the teams involved or a team involved, because in one of those scorelines would be losing 12-0, unless the team was really, really good, which Barcelona B are. But this is so out of the ordinary in this division that police in Spain have detained the coach of the team on the receiving end of that drubbing, which was Eldense. And now, per this quote, I'll throw to for a little bit of context, they're going to be investigating via match if there's any sort of match fixing going on. Police in Spain have detained the coach of Eldense in an investigation into match fixing. Filippo Vito Del Piero, who oversaw Eldense's ugly 12-0 loss. I was about to say 2-0 because my eyes can't really contemplate 12-0. To Barcelona's B team on Saturday, was arrested on Monday. Authorities also took Nabil Capuani, who served as the club's general director, into custody. Capuani represented a group of Italian investors that had recently partnered with Eldense. Ooh! So the club announced they were severing ties with the Italian investors following the humiliating loss. Ooh!
Vito Di Piero, Sunday, curls up, watches some HBO, maybe some crashing. Monday, goes to jail. First of all, if you thought your Monday was bad, at least you didn't get arrested.
Yeah, true.
2, if you lose, at least my college rules were if you lost 10-0 in FIFA, you had to. I'm sorry, if you lost by 10 goals, it's an apology. It's a Facebook apology.
I think at our house it was 5. It was a little.
It was
stricter.
5. So if you got shut out by 10 goals or more,
You shouldn't be allowed to play FIFA ever again.
Haircut.
Whoa.
And what's
Guess that's just as bad.
I only saw it happen once. I'll see if I can find pictures, but we should do a clip on Facebook apologies because those are unbelievably funny.
Imagine
As for this guy though,
imagine
rough
like
Monday.
Eldense just were lined up in Barcelona. We were just giving them all haircuts.
I think that would be a very okay punishment, even though this is a much more serious problem.
Yeah.
Because look, I had to read up and catch up on what I missed in the mid-2000s, which was Serie A's match
Juventus.
fixing. Serie A's match fixing scandal, and it suffered. It was a major blow to Serie A, and it took them a while to
Juventus were relegated.
Not just Juventus, but the credibility of the league, and you never want to question whether the refs can be trusted. There's bad calls, and then there's fixed calls, and in this case, if this is true, what did the guy bet? An advanced line on 9 goals, the over-under being 11? What was the...
I just think you could probably handicap betting and take Barcelona -5, which means they need to start as if they're 5-0 down.
So the ref was freaking out, and he's like, shit.
-9.
Oh, God, -5. My God, I have to give him 12 goals. 12 goals.
And you think about it, for a team to lose 12-0, everyone needs to be in on it. Like, you can't just have players just suddenly underperform. You have to either you make managerial decisions that's going to put it in jeopardy. At 12-0, you think that they just didn't start a goalkeeper. It should be pretty obvious as to be a decision as to why they were taken into consideration for match fixing. But as soon as that was mentioned about an Italian investor, I'm not going to be overly presumptuous in the idea that every Italian is involved in match fixing. But you cannot look away from the fact that if there's an Italian investment group that suddenly pulled out after this loss.
The entire Italian.
How many leagues have you known that have been caught up in a scandal like the Italians?
I don't know, what's Big Sam been up to?
Yeah, true. if they suddenly turned around and said there was an investment group in England that pulled out,
you'd be like, Big Sam was there.
What have you been?
No, I know.
What have you been doing?
It's not a good look. It's really what I think you're trying to get at. Friends, if I'm fixing a match, like for one, I think people make these into too big of an operation. Like you could actually fix a match without the outcome being so drastic, right? If I'm that ref or if I'm the guy in charge, I'm going like, you know what? I'm just going to put that one bet that there will be a penalty goal, right? And then I'll just call 2 penalties.
But the thing is, I don't believe the referees are being investigated. I believe it's the coaches.
Well, they should be because you kind of, I get an idea, but I'd find it hard to believe that a ref or one of the line judges wasn't involved.
Yeah.
They should just be a part of the investigation, not to put blame on them and not to be guilty until proven innocent, none of that kind of stuff, but they should be questioned because they should at least have some form of like testimony as to, well, from your eyes, did you compare, you watch, usually if I'm correct here, and correct me if I'm wrong, a Barcelona B match referee, that's not the only Barcelona B versus Eldense match he's probably reffed, or at least in that league, so they probably know what the team would look like and maybe if they were off that day.
In an interview, this has just recently came out,
BBC.
Interview with Spanish radio station Cadena Ser, Eldense defender Emmanuel Mende said the club's assistant coach Fran Ruiz had spoken to him about a plan to fix the game. He asked me if I was in and how much I wanted, and if I wasn't in, then I wouldn't play. So that's what I mean. It's like, I think that there's, yeah, you're right, there may be referees involved in a little cut. According to the information we have so far, Barcelona B are not being investigated. Luis Enrique has came out and said that it has to be taken very seriously.
Yes.
Because Barcelona B, there's so much more to lose. Yeah, they're the B team of Barcelona, but how many Barcelona players have came through the B team and made their way
what kind
into
of, what kind of penalties do they
stardom?
impose? Like, is it transfer ban? Is it
On the team?
signing on? Well, I mean, just like if like not in Barcelona's case, even in Eldense's case, what is a type of penalty that match fixing results in?
Well, usually what happened with Juventus is they were relegated and they were fined a ridiculous amount of money. People lost their jobs. Referees that were involved lost their jobs. So Juventus had to bounce back. Even Juventus were relegated and had to start at a -point differential, and they still managed to come back. Yeah, so you start.
They dock points.
Yeah, so you start -10.
You have negative 12 points.
This happens. It happens. Rangers faced it as well because of not paying their taxes. Basically.
How happy were you about that?
Delighted. Well, these things happen, unfortunately, in the game, and I know you were mentioning there is some more discreet forms of match fixing that have taken place. I always reference the same example when there was one game in lower division England where you can bet on ridiculous things. Like you can bet
I was
on
one of those people.
the coin toss, anything, and there was a bet as to who was going to get the first throw in. So apparently a player was being investigated because he just took the ball from halfway and just banged it out of, put it right out of bounds, and people were like, "What the hell is going on?" And apparently it looked into it that he had a bet on the opposition having the first throw in.
But see, nowadays you can just be like, look, I saw Carly Lloyd in the Women's World Cup. I wanted to do that.
Yeah. Just imagine you just tried it and for some reason some guy kept
went
it
in.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh my God. The worst. All right.
Still, you can still get your first throw in though.
Yeah.
As long as you aggressively find that ball. The next time around, on the
Absolutely.
kickoff. What is it called? It's called a kickoff. I'm calling it a kickoff.
Because you kick it.
We kick it off too in American football, just so you know. We
That's the
actually
only
kick
reason
it
it's
off.
called football. That is my firm reason. The only reason they call it football is because they want to kick off. They don't want to throw off.
No, I mean, that would be kind of cool though.
Throw off, I think. Why don't just, the guys can throw the ball so long, why not just have the quarterback launch it into, just throw it into the other.
You know my feeling, get rid of the kickoff altogether.
Yeah, very true. All right, so let us know what you think. Is there something fishy going on? What will happen to Eldense? What will happen to Eldense's coaches? We'll make sure to follow up on this because we can't just leave you hanging. We can't just say, oh, they're investigated and then suddenly nothing. I'm sure there might be some sort of prosecution going
I
on.
just want to know how deep the web is.
Yeah, I want to know how far it goes. How far does the rabbit hole go, as Morpheus would ask?
Rabbit hole.
What pill are you going to take?
The one that sent you.
Tell you to shove that blue pill right up your ass. I'm taking a steak for the rest of my life. Comment below.
What pill you want? The red one or the blue one? I don't know. Do you have Advil?